Creek looks nice this morning. Pretty calm. Good day for my morning sit down and think about what I'm going to do for the day. I like to come down here and sit by the creek every morning, have my coffee, contemplate what project I could do for today. As a wood carver, you get an opportunity to do this a lot. But actually, it's one of my favorite parts of the job. One of my favorite things to do is to sit by the creek, think. Sometimes I see things. Sometimes I get ideas. Watch the fish jump. It's fall right now, so a lot of the trees are shedding their leaves, and you can see right into the woods, and you see deer run a lot. I just saw some the other day. Well, I guess I should get up, take my walk, and see what we can find for the day. You never know what you can find walking around the woods. I live up in the Pocono Mountains, so it's nice to take a walk along these creek beds. This one's right across the street from my house. I refer to it a lot in my videos. I got to go around this big sycamore here. Wow, I don't want to get a wet foot, so got to stay close to this big tree and try not to fall in. Well, we'll take a walk up the creek for a little bit and see what we can find. Thought I heard something there. The other day I was down here, about 20 deer ran up the hill. Wish I had my GoPro on me then. But they ran right down the tracks. There's railroad tracks right there. I'm going to take a walk down those later too. But for now, let's see what's on this side. Haven't been up this far in a while. Look at our roots on that tree. It's really cool when you get to check out some of the root systems on these trees that the creek has washed underneath. Right now the creek's very low. Look at some of these things. You never know what's living under there either. Sometimes you see muskrats in there. Sometimes you saw a weasel one time running around in there. And the fish, when the creek is up, love to hide under there. Seen some pretty big trout in this creek in my day too. Some gnarly roots, huh? And they just go everywhere. Look at that. Mother Nature never seems to disappoint when you actually get out in the woods and walk around. It's amazing some of the things you see and the way some of these trees really branch out. And it's getting like I'm running out of shore to walk on here. So we might have to change position here. Now I'm up on top of the railroad bed. You can see the creek down below. That's the same creek. I'm just upstream a little bit here. And right here's the railroad tracks and the road. Road leads right to my house. So what I like to do a lot of times is take a walk right down the tracks. You'd be amazed at what we find. Maybe we'll find an interesting project to work on today. So let's walk down the tracks here. Hope a train don't come. Actually, this train only comes by once a day, and it's always late in the afternoon. Wonder if I should go down there. Is there anything interesting down there? Maybe we'll just walk across the bridge. We'll go into the woods. A lot of maples and cedars around where I live. They're more like juniper trees, though. They're not really the great cedars for carving. I do have a lot of red cedar around here. Wish it was white cedar. You can see the creek underneath me. But these tracks just go for miles and miles and miles through the woods. They're fun to walk. You never know what you're going to find. Is that a lot of the leaves are falling off the trees, so if a critter runs by, we'll be able to see it pretty good. I've run into bear up here. I've run into fox, bobcats. You never know what's out here. This is pretty close to it. What is that? Huh. Looks like somebody had a little party on the tracks and put some railroad spikes in some beer cans. Okay, some old railroad ties. I think I'm going to cut off into the woods, because usually that's where you find most of your stuff here along the tracks. But you always got to go into the woods a little bit. Railroad keeps everything pretty clear from the tracks. So let's see if we take a walk in. I'm on the other side where I was before. Whoa, is that what I think it is? Ah, it is. That'll give me a good opportunity to teach you where you find knots to carve. Look at this tree. It's full of them. Yeah, so that's where you get pine knots and cedar knots from, guys. You see a lot of us making wood spirits out of these, us carvers. That right there is a big old knot. Sticking out of a tree that's already decomposed for the most part, but the knots, they stay because they don't really rot half as much as the trees do. And if this was pine, they don't rot at all. They're solid pitch. You can pretty much break them off. See that? You clear all that, it's got a face right in there. Now this knot's a little past its time. This one right here is still pretty hard. I don't think I can get that off. But pretty much just break them off. Well, that's not going to work. Need a sledgehammer for that guy. But you can pretty much break them off when they're ready and carve your face as your wood spirits live in there. You see the wood spirits live in the knots of the trees. Well, this is where you get the knots. You need a nice rotten tree that the knots are still good. You bang them against a tree, check them for hardness. Whack all the dead stuff off. If it was really rotten, a lot of that stuff just falls off, and whatever's left is solid pitch and is carvable. Now, these aren't the best knots. Some pine knots got really nice flares. I wish this was a big dead pine. Unfortunately, I don't think it is. But I might be able to get a couple of knots out of it. See how you could just kick them off usually? Now I've taken the chainsaw to some and just cut them out. But this is how you find knots to carve. Look for a dead tree. Look for those nubbies sticking up there. And you'll see the knots sticking right out of the top. See them? And you just whack them off with a sledgehammer or a big stick. Sometimes you can kick them off. You pull them off, clean them up, let them dry out if you need to. Get to carving. Maybe we'll bring one home and try to carve it. Any other interesting stuff down here? Wonder how strong that piece on the end is. Yeah, that would be a nice piece. I don't think I can get that off though. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Be a nice wood spirit, huh? Let's try rock. I doubt it. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Okay, we'll have to come back with the chainsaw for that guy. But that's okay. I got a couple of knots up here. Take a couple of those bad boys back to the house and clean them up, see what we got. We'll make a carving. Before I leave, another quick check around. Hope I don't run into a Sasquatch or anything, because then I'd be making different videos for YouTube instead of carving videos. There's a nice little knot. Might be able to do something with that. I don't know. When I find a really good tree with knots, I'll show you guys. But hopefully this will give you an idea of where they come from. For the longest time I was carving, I had no idea where they were getting these pine knots, and then I discovered them on my own. Hopefully this will help you guys with a little bit of info on what to look for and bust them off. Now there's a nice one. That one right there will carve up. That's pretty solid. Okay, not a lot of rot. Okay, I'm back up on a road, and look what I found. Like I said, all kinds of critters in the woods here. I'm no expert on bone structure, but to me that looks like a deer skull. If anybody else thinks I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but pretty sure that's a deer skull. And Look at the size of this sycamore. Wow, look at the knots on that. Now these are more fresh before the tree rots away. But tell me you can't see a wood spirit face in there. Ooh, I want this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to be coming back with the chainsaw. Get some of these bad boys. Look at them things. They're huge. Oh yeah, I'm coming back for these. I think I'll grab the battery-powered chainsaw and I'll cut some of those out. What is this over here? That's kind of cool. Wonder who was living in there. Nice, that's a big tree. Must have fell down during the last storm. Wasn't here a week ago. Okay. Definitely going to be a place to come back to. Can't believe how low the creek is here. Look how big this sycamore is. I mean, that thing just is huge. Lots of traffic going by. I'm right off the side of the road here. But I'm definitely coming back for those big knots. Fish. Saw a raise in the creek a while ago. A lot of trout in this creek. Usually come and fly fish this. It's a natural stretch. Upstream they do stock. Down here it's all natural. You get some nice big browns in here. It's usually a lot deeper though. Can't believe how low it is. But, can't get over this sycamore though. Look how big this thing is. I think I could literally go underneath it here. Let's not be that old. I can still do that. Yeah, real pretty down here. Look at the roots on this maple tree. Look at that. That is neat. And then there's sycamore roots right after it. But I believe this one here is a maple. Looks like a silver maple. I'm not a big tree genius. I just carve them. But that is very cool. I think we're gonna get heading back home and we'll try to carve some of the things that we found. So I guess I'll meet everybody back at the house. Just trying one more pan to see if I can find a deer for you guys to check out. No wildlife on the creek today. I did see a blue heron when I first walked down. He took off. Okay. Alright, I'm back here at the house. And I cleaned off one of them knots, but it did have a lot of rot on the bottom of it, but the top is really hard, so I'm going to get some tools out and see if I can get a little wood spirit face in there. This would be a neat little piece if we can get it going. I'm going to have to take some of this stuff off. I'm going to use the big bit in the boredom. We'll try and clear this and see what it looks like underneath. Boy, this stuff is hard. And this is a rough bit. Not quite sure what kind of wood this is yet. I'm going to zip through it and see if I can actually get something out of it. Almost any wood carves. But this is definitely different. Seems to be shaping with these high-speed bits. This right here is kind of like a rounded file burr. It's a Dremel burr. And it's kind of rounded at the tip. It's almost like using an electric pencil. I like using this bit a lot. Not really sure what kind of wood still. Almost looks like a fir, but it's not. That's for sure. As I get into some of the other knots, maybe I'll be able to figure it out. For now, I'm just zipping away and seeing if I can make a quick little wood spirit. I keep switching burrs, seeing what works the best, and cutters. changing them up in the Fordham. Should be able to come up with something that looks half decent. It's not going to be the greatest carving though. He's starting to shape up a little bit. Yeah, now he's getting hard. I'm getting down to wood. I believe I figured out what kind of wood this is too. I believe this is locust. That's why it's getting hard to carve. The deeper I get, the harder it's getting. And some of these bits can barely even scrape it. Yeah, this is a locust knot. These locust trees are hard. Hard, hard, hard. Back to a round ball, trying to clean things up. Trying to stay out of the camera as I do a lot of this stuff, so I'm always at this over to the side a little bit. I'm just fast forwarding through some stuff and showing you what I came up with out of one of these knots. Probably going to carve one of the other knots. I'll try and carve all of them actually, but we'll see what we can get out of this guy. He's tough to get any detail on. I mean, this is really, really hard stuff. But I'm sure in the end I'll be able to come up with something that, you know, if somebody looked at it and wasn't judging it, they'd probably think it was kind of cool. So, see what happens. And that's what I ended up with. So he's not too bad. I think I can get a couple more out of these knots. They'll be good for somebody. You can stand them up on your desk or put them on a shelf somewhere. He's okay. All right, well, I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll try to carve some more of those knots in future videos. Thanks for watching.